Hello, everybody. Sonia here. And as you can see, today I'm showing a Bruce Gilden book. And as always, I'm trying to talk and write, and it does not work at the same time. So hold on. There we go. Cool. Hi, everybody. Hello. Give a second to join. So today we're doing this book, which is not actually my book. It's a book I borrowed from NYC SPC, but it's fantastic. I unfortunately don't own any Bruce Gilden books, but I hope to soon. So this book, a little quick background. He went through his archive like a couple years ago, and he found all of these amazing photos from late 70s, early 80s, and he put them together in a book. I'm going to read you, signed, I'm going to read you a little bit about what he writes about himself. So in the beginning, I think this is his wife writing, and there's a bunch of text here. So he writes about his process, about how he put this book together, about his style of shooting. Let me just read you guys a little bit so you get kind of a background about how this book was made and how he in general shoots. So a cool thing, he mentions Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver, and he says when Travis, the main character in Taxi Driver, calls the city an open sewer full of filth and scum, Bruce Gilden completely disagrees. He says, "I like a bit of filth, and I don't call people scum. The type of people that interest me visually may not be your average people, but it doesn't mean I'm prejudiced about them. The cabbie in the movie has a problem. I don't. He has no goal in life, whereas photography is my life. Photography defines me, and photography has given me everything. It gave me self-confidence. It saved me from drugs. It gave me the keys to the world." So I thought that was kind of an interesting little blurb. So here's more. So this is him talking about when he started photographing for this book. So as you guys will see, I know that he's known for like that flash, boom in your face photography, but he does not use flash in almost any of these pictures. There's maybe like 3 or 4 that have flash. The rest don't have flash because he wasn't really starting using flash yet. He started using flash a little bit later. So what he writes about these images in this book: "At the time, I was going from not using flash to using flash. So I was looking for dramatic, energetic pictures. And these pictures in this book are a little calmer. It was a kind of experimental and transitional time when I was so involved in a search for dynamism, and I overlooked the traditional. Yet if I hadn't done flash pictures, I wouldn't have the reputation I have now. At that time, I was willing to sell my soul to the devil for the flash. It's just that I'm very critical, and also I was young and obsessed with searching for something different. Another reason why I discovered these images now and not 40 years ago has to do with age. It's not that I've slowed down appreciably, but I realized that I had to put my archive in order. It was now or never." So another thing he writes is he says that he includes a lot of environment and much more than types of people in the photography here. You can feel the heartbeats of the city, whereas later on I concentrated on the heartbeats of the people I photographed. So that's something you guys will see here. Even though like it's still focused on people, there's a lot of environment happening. Whereas in his later work, it was more of just like full frontal flash in the face and just the person's face and body and character. But here you see there's a lot more environment and background. Okay. So this is something that you guys probably have heard a lot about him, but he says he likes to say that street photography is when you can smell the street and feel the dirt. And that's what you feel in these pictures. You feel the dirt, you feel the sweat, you feel the sleaziness, you feel the tension, you feel New York. I captured what was there, and it was a tough time. It was raw, violent, and filthy, but it had lots of soul. My kind of town. So he really, really, really loves New York. And there's a lot more text, which is actually really cool. I really like that he writes a lot about his process. And his critics too. Let me just read you the last little bit. I work very close, but it's not how close you are that matters. It's about how comfortable you are in doing what you do. I feel the same regarding the use of flash in my photography. A certain segment of the population assumes that if you use flash from a close distance, you're disturbing or disrupting people by invading their space. But I don't look at things that way. In a big city, there are people invading your space all the time, just walking by you. You're in a crowd, you bump into people, people bump into you. It's just that you're getting a camera added to the mix, but the street is public. And then he goes on to kind of talk about that, which is really interesting. If you guys are interested in that kind of, there's always this argument, like with flash photography, are you in people's faces? You know, is it wrong? Is it right? It's an interesting discussion, and he goes into it a lot here. So let me just go straight into the photos. So you'll see these images are from 1978 to 1984. Mostly not with flash. And there's just so much character in these. Here we go. See it? One thing he says in the beginning is how much he's attracted to hairstyles and glasses. And here you have both. So if you guys have anything to add, I know a lot of you guys like his work and you have his books and you probably know a lot about him. Feel free to comment and I'll just read them out loud so people can see him. It's great. It's really different from his typical flash work to me. But this is beautiful. Characters. He also writes in the beginning about how his father was very much of a character, almost like a mafia kind of type. He wasn't in the mafia, I don't think, but he was kind of like that kind of type. And he was always interested in people like that. It's good. So as you guys can see, he photographs on really busy corners and busy streets. A lot in Midtown. I think most of these are on Broadway and 5th, by 5th and like 50th. Anyway, Midtown. And he still shoots now. Great. So was that like eye level with people? So this book was published last year, I think 2019. And he went through his archive a couple years ago and he found all of these. It's good. Love this one. It's just such good like placement of everybody. Really good. So a lot more in the back, a lot busier than his normal photos. Cool. See that car? So again, hairstyles and sunglasses. Really into that. And it's a cool to show like old New York in the 70s and early 80s. This is great. It's great. And just the shadow over her shirt here and the dog. It's just great. It's just a great balance in this frame. Great balance. I wonder if she's yelling at him or she's yelling at somebody else. Could be at him. He got yelled at a lot, I think. There's a really funny YouTube video of him photographing in the street, and I think he gets yelled at like at least 3 times in that like 5-minute video. So I'm sure he got yelled at a lot. I love this image. It's one of my favorites in the book. First I thought they were related, just like they have exactly pretty much the same facial expression. See it? Maybe they're just friends. It's great. So he's using a 28 millimeter. He has a Leica. He's using a 28 millimeter lens on a Leica. I think from almost all his career, pretty much. It's the same I like that. I like that there's always people kind of looking at him. There's a direct gaze. Eye contact. In all of his work. This is great. So this work is from 1978 to 1984. So you guys know. Plan to make a feature. You guys should. I'm sorry I didn't see these comments. Yeah, it's kind of like he's invisible to people. I think he's just really, really fast. I think this might be flash because it looks like there's light on his face. It might be flash with this photo. But most of these you'll see there's no flash in this. Here. Which film? I have no idea. Probably just Tri-X film. Black and white. No flash. Yeah, so these are all these are all taken as he was transitioning to flash. So most of these are no flash. Great. But you can still see, even though this is before flash, you could still see how much he like wants to isolate each person. Like he kind of wants this like these figures like brought out. And like here too. And I think the flash really allowed him to do that because flash really, brings out whatever's closest to you. And like here too. Can't see. Look how these are weighted heavily towards older folks. Yeah, so he's not really interested. He was writing how he's like, I don't really photograph children ever. Not ever, but he usually doesn't. That's what he writes in this book too, that usually he's interested in people who are a little bit older. People who are kind of characters to him. I think that they remind him of people he saw when he was growing up. Because he grew up in Brooklyn. He definitely grew up in New York. And he grew up pretty poor, so he was just out and about in the street, like running around, like watching people all the time as a kid. And he talks about that in the beginning too. He was saying how he wishes he was born in like earlier, so he could photograph in the 1920s and 1930s and just photograph like men with hats smoking cigars. It's kind of funny, but it actually makes sense when you look at his work. That he would want that. This is cool. So this is one of the street scenes that he photographs. It looks like, they're clearly having some kind of altercation. Some kind of fight is happening. It kind of looks like he's grabbing his balls or trying to. It's kind of funny. And I like that people are just watching. Yeah. This reminds me a little bit of like a Matt Weber photograph. He also photographed a lot, just street scenes and people fighting in the street. And they were both taxi drivers, actually, in New York. This is kind of interesting. So he was a taxi driver for like 4 years. I think 4 years, he says. This looks like Brighton Beach. Don't ask me how I know, but it kind of does look like Brighton. It's the lawn chair that gives it away. This is great framing with this thing. Fantastic. Yeah, nice composition. Yeah, fantastic. So this is like another one that's like, if he had been using flash, this would have been like one of those photos. Classic Bruce Gilden photo. I love that you see it's like a line of just faces, like that it's not just hers. If it was just hers, like this is a portrait, but it's just the fact that they're all in there making this kind of line is really cool. I like it. It's a really nice book. This guy. Yeah, older people. Photographing mostly in Midtown. Busy areas, right? These are all pretty busy. There's like always people behind. This is great. All the old signs. He photographed in Coney Island too, but so this is with flash, obviously. You can see it. But I don't think he prefers Coney Island. He prefers Midtown, places that are kind of more crowded. But he keeps photographing Coney Island. This is one of his famous images. I think this is with flash. It looks like flash. Oh, you're welcome, Street McAdam. Sure. Does he print his work himself? I'm not sure. I think so. I'm not sure. If anybody knows, you can answer. If he prints his work himself. Probably. Characters. So it's interesting, when he first saw all of these in the 70s and 80s, like when he saw them, he didn't like them. He kind of just like threw them whatever. He's like, there's nothing on this. And I think it's a good thing he didn't actually toss them. So the years, this is between, just double check for you. This is between 1978 and 1984. So you guys know. Great scene. Again, like man in hat with a cigar or cigarette. You don't really see this anymore. You don't really see people in hats and smoking. Sometimes, but not so much now. More cigars. So he wrote in the back. Yeah, this is really early work. In the back, there's like a really funny little thing that he writes. Hold on. It's his permit, license. Hold on. He writes this little story. Oh, that's the biography. Hold on. Here it is. It's a little story about his photos. And in one of them, it says how they look like they're like mafiosos, but really they're just people who work in the garment industry. But like the way that they're standing and like their facial expressions and like their suits and their outfits, they look like they're like mafia. But he said that they're not. This is a photo that he titles. He doesn't really title his photos, but he titled this phone booth for obvious reasons. But it's interesting. He wrote about how it's kind of like everything. He wrote how this street is probably the nicest street in Manhattan. So if you can see, it's Park Ave and East 57th Street. So at this time, this was like the nicest street. But even on the nicest street, like the sign is freaking falling off. You see that it's falling off of the pole. And he just talks about how it's like this woman is screaming in this booth, but nobody around her can hear. And everyone is kind of just ignoring her and ignoring everything. I thought that was an interesting kind of, an interesting kind of attitude about what the city was like during this time. You should buy it. It's good. Came out. This is pretty accessible, this book. I mean, I think it came out last year. I'm sure there's plenty. I love these twins. So I also really like that he photographs a lot of older people. I'm not saying that people don't photograph older people, but I don't think that older people really expect to be photographed usually. And when I photograph them on the street, they're always really pleasantly surprised that they're getting like attention from somebody. So kind of nice. It's cool. Great framing. This is really early work by him. Oh, hold on. Skipped one. So this is like an example where like he would use flash here. And as you guys can tell, I mean, most of these in this book, most of these images are horizontal. And as you know, like most of his, they're not mostly vertical, but he does a lot of vertical images. Most of his famous images are vertical, like portraits with flash. So I feel like this one would be a good one with flash in portrait mode. He used to walk the same streets, didn't he? Yeah, he was mostly in Midtown, same streets. So typically, like I think he would find like an area that he knew there was going to be a lot of people. He knew the light was going to be a specific way at a specific time of day, and he would go there and he would photograph. A lot of photographers in New York do that. I do that too sometimes, but I know a lot of photographers who will photograph certain areas at certain times of day. You end up knowing like that the light will be good, so you're going to go there and you're going to photograph. There's just a higher chance that you're going to get a good image if you know that the light is going to be good. I like that this guy's hand, the way he's gestured, and it's great. Hats. Place is great too. I mean, even without flash, there's like the faces are so expressive. He's really close to them. Like he's really close. He talks about, in the book, he talks about how the Robert Capa quote, that if your photos aren't good enough, that means you're not close enough. How when he read that quote, he was like, oh my God, yes. Like it resonated with him a lot. And he realized the closer he was, like the better his photographs were. It's different for everybody. It depends on what you're trying to capture. If you're trying to capture a whole environment, obviously you need some distance. But if you're trying to capture like people close up, their portraits, their faces, then yeah, you have to be closer. He likes threes, it seems. So many images have three subjects. Yeah, three or more. This is technically four. Some little guy here. Yeah, he really fills the frame, as you guys can tell. He's big on filling the frame up. It's good. This one's wild. I like this one a lot. Maybe it's raining. That's why yeah, it's raining. She's got water on her. Bruce didn't want to be dependent on direction of light. That is the primary reason why he started using flash. Yes, thank you, Paul. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So that's a reason a lot of people use flash is like when you don't want to only be able to photograph when the light is good. You want to be able to photograph anytime you want. So that was his main reason for flash. Good. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like sometimes when the light is not good and you're out photographing, if you don't have a flash, it makes it really, really hard to get a good photograph. Just say that. Cigarette, hat. It's excellent. It's always crowded. All right. Oh. Crowded. People do not look happy in his photographs. But he also specifically doesn't want people smiling. In the YouTube video, somebody smiles when he's flashing them, photographing them, and he's like, no, I hate that photo. I hate when people smile. No smiling. It ruins it. So some New Yorkers smile for pictures. Just FYI for people who are not familiar with photographing in New York. People are not this serious all the time, although most of the time. This is good. It's great. Hairdos. Don't see this. You don't see people with rollers anymore. Okay. Oh. That's great. Glasses. So you guys know, starting to notice themes, like hair, glasses, dudes in hats smoking. There's little themes. I try to do this, but the subject is always out of focus. I think he's zone focused or pre-focused. I'm sure he did. East Coast street photography, classic faces. Yeah, yep. Classic, like, unhappy with everything faces. It's New York. This is great. Like that ladies used to wear this. So it's good. It's like the frame is pretty crowded, but it doesn't bother the viewer. Like it's all well placed. Each person is like perfectly placed. It's really hard to do on the street. I love Bruce Gilden. His stories about Yakuza and almost dying and having to run away makes me feel okay when people run after me or yell at me while doing street photography. Yeah, it's true. He actually, he has an amazing set of images from photographing Yakuza in Japan. Really, really good images. They're not in this book. I think they're later, and they're with Flash. They're fantastic. But I mean, I was saying he like, I'm sure that he gets yelled at and attacked a lot. This is another one where like, just the placement of everything is so good. It's wonderful. He has shot many cultures and ethnic groups in many countries, just in different exhibitions. Yeah. I mean, he photographs a lot. He's photographed. It's in the book. He talks about in the beginning where he's shot. Not just New York, but this book is just New York. This also looks like maybe Brighton to me. Knische, hot knishes. I like looking at the signs. So he wrote how he loves looking at the signs in his old photographs, and I do too. It's nice. It's cool. I never got yelled at in New York City, but there's some. I've gotten yelled at, surprisingly not by a subject, but I get yelled at by people who are on the outside telling me what I should and shouldn't photograph, which I don't really like, but I'm usually polite and nice. He tells people to like fuck off, or he kind of, he doesn't tell people to fuck off, but he tells people like, go away. Zone focusing. So yeah, for sure zone focusing cannot be a different way. F8, F11, there's probably 1/60th of a second as flash probably. Yeah, I think it's 1/60th of a second. I think he talks about that in the book. But you guys can find like all the settings online. I mean, there's so many articles online about him and his the way that he photographs, his method. He was he really pioneered street photography and this like flash in your face method. He really created his own style. Form usually very nice and usually employ them check out. Yeah, you get yelled at. Yeah, I mean sometimes we get yelled at on the street. Also, if people don't really understand what you're trying to do. I guess a photographer photographing on the street can look weird to somebody who doesn't really know what street photography is. But yeah, just educating people, showing them work. Showing them like what you're doing, it helps a lot. It really does. This is great. Just this curve is fantastic. It's like, it's fantastic. Hello. Great photos. He has another one similar like this that I think he took later on. Has he ever done abstract photography? I don't think so. I haven't seen anything abstract. He mostly just does portraits, but if anybody knows, maybe he's done abstracts. Shout it out. No, I don't think so. I haven't seen anything like that. This is great. Again, hairstyles and glasses. Looks like they're waiting for a train or a bus or something. So good. This is a very environmental photo, right? It's really different than it's a person. I guess they're fixing their sock, and his sock. It looks like the sock has a hole. Maybe that's just the sock. But I like that he's fixing it in the middle of the street corner that's super busy and crowded. And also New York, there was trash everywhere. By the way, I came here in the late 80s. Well, not in the late 80s, early 90s technically. My dad came here in the late 80s, but he said there was like garbage everywhere in the 80s, all over. A lot of garbage. It's great. I want to go back to the 80s. Music and people were so cool. Well, it's different. I'm sure it was different for people living at the time there. I feel like sometimes when we look back, we sometimes people romanticize the past. But I don't know. There's definitely some interesting, I'm sure it wasn't so interesting for the people who were living it. For them it was just commonplace the way, things in the 2020 is commonplace. It's great. This would be great with Flash too. A picture of New York at time. Yeah, Chantal Akerman's an amazing filmmaker. I haven't seen News from Home, but she's fantastic. I'll watch that. Thank you, Jason. Nothing. I was thinking that after I said it, nothing common about 2020. I think just insanity is common about 2020. The fact that nothing is common. More signs. Except for the grace of God, there stand I am blind, by a pencil. Oh, it's the blind guy selling pencils. Probably not the same guy, but. It was dirty and dangerous. My parents were in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn, and East Village, and they said it was full of garbage and drugs. Yeah, I mean, New York was very different. It was definitely interesting. It depends on what you're interested in. Everybody's different. Still different. But I mean, people were different. People obviously didn't have cell phones or iPhones. They weren't on their phone. I feel like people were more engaging with each other than they are now. I mean, New Yorkers are still pretty engaging in my experience. But since the digital age and everything, I feel like people are kind of stuck in their phones. It's hard to kind of get these kind of photographs. This image. Yeah, this image is great. Love this image too. It's just wonderfully composed, this little V and this little empty space here. It's fantastic. Great little pair. This looks like a wig. It looks like he's in a wig to me. I don't know. I say that's a wig. This is great. Oh, hold it. Oh, it's fantastic. This is like all cut off. Glasses and hats again. And hairstyles. People looking. It's cool that you see so many people looking. She does not look like she wants to be photographed. He looks like he's fine with it. I don't know. Can only read so much from one photo. So in this book, he talks a lot about how different people have different interpretations of pictures and how he wants people to look at his photos and make up stories. Like, he loves that about photography in general. And he wants that. So, sorry, hold on. Stupid thing. Okay, here we go. Light. This is an example, like the light is coming in like this and he's shooting against the light. It's hard to make a good photo like this. My first time in New York City was in 86. So cool. More hair and glasses. Yeah, these are all with a Leica and a 28 millimeter lens. I think that he only uses a 28 millimeter. I don't think he in general really uses anything else. Most of all his work is 28. God, these people look so ridiculous. Like super, super crowded. But just like so well placed, all of them. Here he's really down low, lower to the ground, getting two sets of people. This conversation, these people watching. It's good. This guy's like, no. Could see how many people wore hats. Like this was in the 80s, so this was not that long ago. Everybody was in a hat. Everybody. It's sad. The fact that you can just see every detail on his face is amazing. You can really just see every detail. It's wild. Comment about 2020, the face of the people when they have the camera in front? What do you mean? Maybe just masks? Camera? Oh, like a phone? Yeah. This is fascinating. I'm really curious as to why they're all looking at him. Maybe there's something happening next to him or behind him. I don't know. For me, the most common expression of disapproval in my pictures are pursed lips. I don't know why. But yeah. Like that. Like that. There's a lot of pursed lips in his pictures. Oh, that's it. So this is kind of cool. He talks about basically to make up your own little stories about photos. It's really funny. It's really good. So this is a great little book. It's cool, you know, it's like he went back through his archive and he found all this stuff and now he published it. I think it's great. This is his international driving permit. This is what he looks like. This is 1985, so what he looked like. A little older now. And that's it, I think. Yes. New York City. So thanks, New York City, for being so beautiful during these years. And this was printed in 2019, so you guys know. This is pretty recent. And that's it. So it's fast. So I hope you guys liked it. I'm going to save the video as I always do, so you guys will have it. You'll be able to watch it later if you didn't get a chance to watch it now. And stay tuned. Next week, I'm doing Helen Levitt, her book with all the kids. So she just got a new book. Well, she didn't just get a new book, but they just published a new book of hers like this year. So I'll do that one next week. Okay? Bye.